not something I say every day, but some Paris Hilton news. She was, as we've talked about before, sent to Utah to this boarding school when she was young, and she's been sort of kind of not right ever since, had these nightmares and blames a lot of her her trauma on that period of time. Well, she's appeared at a press conference on the steps of Congress to say that boarding schools like the one she was at are a troubled teen industry rife with abuse. She said everyday children are being physically, emotionally, verbally, psychologically, and sexually abused there. On Wednesday, she urged lawmakers to pass a Bill of Rights for teenagers, basic stuff like, being offered clean water, nutritious meals, able to call home. Here's a clip of Paris speaking about the experience that she had at Provo.
Well, we've come to a place in our society where the inner city schools are broken and there's shootings and gangbangers doing battle in the quad. Mm-hmm. And then the elite boarding schools are also equally as dangerous and abusive.
Yeah.
We got the high and the low, man.
Well, and she's serious because her voice dropped 4 octaves.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And she didn't have her dog with her.
That's right. No pink.
She was not spangled up.
Yeah, no Lamborghini
or bedazzled
whatever.
At all. All right.
Yeah, so we'll see. A very interesting, I'm so glad that this is getting some media attention, this sort of offshoot story of the search for Gabby Petito. So after people have been looking for her and finally found her, that's resulted in finding 9 other bodies of missing
I was about
people.
to say that this is kind of a bad... This is a bad sign. Mm-hmm. Kind of reminds me of when El Chapo popped out of the sewer.
Right.
Commandeered a car in Mexico and it overheated in 100 yards. So he jumped out of that car and jumped into another car. And that car broke down after a quarter mile. It's like, not a good sign for your community.
Yeah.
It's a bad sign for a nation when you go looking for somebody and you keep tripping over other bodies.
Right. Yes.
That's a bad sign.
So if we just put a little bit more effort to it, God knows who else we'll find. So, but one of the bodies...
But the good sign, the best sign is when I was shooting a movie and we had our lighting director, our director of photography was from Sweden. And I kept asking, I always asked, I learned this many years ago with my English girlfriend. I was like, we have John Doe. Who do you have for your decapitated bodies floating in the river? And she went, Joe Bloggs. I said, okay. That sounds cool. So because every community, every nation has to have, they're not using John Doe.
Right.
That's ours.
Who's your unidentified?
Yeah, they have to have a name that's a common name in their culture.
Right.
And when I said it to the director of photography from Sweden, I was like, what do you guys have for the decapitated bodies that are found in the river? He's like, we don't have one of those. We don't have that name.
Not enough to make a name out of.
Yeah, it just doesn't come up enough. And I was like, that's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a very good sign. Mm-hmm. Well, there is this one body that they found that is eerily similar to what happened with Gabby. So this 22-year-old girl, Emily Farlazzo.
They identified her already?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She was reported missing by her parents Monday. Her 41-year-old husband, Joseph Farlazzo, returned to her parents' house in New Hampshire to tell them he had not seen her in a while, a few days. The couple had driven to Vermont to celebrate their first wedding anniversary. The day after Emily was reported missing, Joseph allegedly confessed to shooting her and in the end dismembering her body in their camper. So
it's got that 1-year itch.
Jesus Christ. So they're setting up a foundation for Gabby Petito. It's going to address the needs of organizations that support locating missing persons and providing aid to domestic violence situations. But finding a lot of people that would not have been found otherwise.
But, on a happy note, we always talk about urban sprawl and congestion. There's like too many people. The population appears there's plenty of space in this man's country to stash a body.
A lot of holes in the desert.
There's a lot of untouched land.
Mm-hmm.
Pristine.
Protected.
Yeah, you can't do that in downtown Chicago or Pacoima or something, but evidently there's space. We still have space.
Only 3% of the country is urbanized.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. Hey, speaking of downtown Chicago, I don't have this in the news, but do you know what's going on between Lightfoot and the police captain?
Yes.
Oh, they hate each other.
Yeah, it's a war of words.
There might not be a police force in the next week or so.
Dump your bodies there.
Seriously, because between being like so crime ridden, he's basically, it's like either get vaccinated to the police or don't get vaccinated. Let us know you're unvaccinated and test twice a week to make sure you don't have COVID. And he said, fuck that. Nobody do it. Nobody go online to do this. We're going to walk out. And so I don't know. Chicago's really going to be a Thunderdome real soon.
Yeah, neither one of them are blinking or stepping back or
called him a clown.
Talking to an arbitrator. He's called her worse. Like it is on. Yeah, we have there's I can't remember. I think maybe Delta is pushing back. I've heard there's a couple airlines that are pushing
the Delta
back.
variant.
No, yeah, Delta variant is pushing
is.
back. Delta Airlines, I think, is pushing back. There's a couple of companies, a couple of municipalities. Well, our sheriff in Los Angeles said he's not doing it.
Yeah.
Was
it Villanueva?
Villanueva, I think. Yeah, said he's not doing any of it.
All right. Donald Trump announced Wednesday he's gathered investment funds to launch his own media company.
To be fair to Villanueva or whoever we're talking about here in Los Angeles, the sheriff's guy, it's not like, fuck you, I'm not doing this, I'm an anti-vaxxer. He's like, we're low. Mm-hmm. Everywhere's low.
Like, we're doing great.
Seattle lost, I don't know, 300 or 500 cops. Others, Portland. Who the fuck wants to be a cop anymore, right? Over the last 18 months, everyone's like, recruiting is way off and retirements are way up.
Probably draw 110% pension at this point.
So they're all stretched out, right? And Villanueva is like, if I make this a mandate, I think between 5 and 15% are just going to take an early retirement. We're already low. Then we're going to go lower if that 10% we can't take it. So that's his justification.
That makes sense. I thought when you said low, I thought you meant COVID numbers. We're doing very well.
California's doing very well.
So, Trump's starting this new company. It includes a new social network that he wants to use to bring back his own online presence, since he's really not, he's persona non grata on Twitter and Instagram and such. When completed, he hopes his new company will be backed by nearly $300 million in funding. It's a company called Trump Media and Technology, and it'll
put
launch...
his name in it?
Of course. This is not the Trump you know.
Donald Trump.
Donald, yeah.
Now that he's been president, you got to capitalize on that notoriety.
Yes, now that he's been president.
Yeah, name will sell, something.
Do you want, now his name is not in the name of the social network, but would you like to know what that's going to be called?
Oh, yeah.
Truth Social. Because what else would it be called? They want to fight back against big tech and Silicon Valley. Meanwhile,
who are investors?
Newsweek reports that the social media platform was reportedly hacked within hours of this announcement.
Well,
it's live?
I think you had to get an invitation.
Oh, okay.
It's going to, people are going to start their, I mean, you basically see it in the media already. People just go start their own thing. I mean, in a weird way, it's podcasting.
Well, that was the response I was seeing on like Twitter from random people was like, isn't this what Parler is for?
Right.
And et cetera. I don't even know the sites or the services, but there are many of these obviously started by,
they don't have his name
the most
on
famous
it.
person in the world, perhaps.
Yeah, and it takes a while, and then at some point they do a round of funding and they get a ton of dough.
Right.
And then once they get a ton of dough, then theoretically they're off and running.
What's his name? Dilbert.
Scott Adams.
Adams.
This has got to be, I'm sure he has thoughts about what a slam dunk it is to call something Truth Social, right? Like those buzzwords.
Yeah. Although, I don't know, it never works on me because I see a lot of products at the Whole Foods that start with truth, like Smart Water or something like
Charlie's
that.
Food is the honest kitchen.
Yeah. I've told you, I talked to the guy from Edmonds. All they do is test cars. That's all they do. They buy cars and they test cars. That's all they do. And I've said to him, in this day and age of every car works, everything's got a warranty, everything is safe. Well, was there even a bad car these days? And he went, just the smart car. That's the only bad car.
Other than that, they'll work.
Yeah,
they're all good. Just
all
the one
same.
That's smart.
There's a David Cross bit where he talks about at Whole Foods, there's a brand called If You Care.
Right.
He's like, I didn't know a brand could be so passive-aggressively Jewish. If you care. We have a frequent guest of this show, or at least a friend of the show, that made their debut on The Masked Singer. Turned out to be somebody that we know.
Could we try and guess?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm saying, could you show
Yes, I'm going to show you.
Nice.
First, we had Dr. Drew, of course. He was that rock and roll eagle. And We have another regular guest. He was dressed as a hamster, and he's sung Pretty Woman, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, even a song in Spanish called Sabor a Mi. Here's a clip of Pretty Woman if you want to take a guess. Listen for a little bit.
All right. AJ Benza. I have no idea.
Okay, so AJ's Adam's guess.
That's Brad Williams sitting on Adam Ray's shoulders.
I love both of these guesses.
I was talking to Dumbo Dr. Drew about this, and I was telling you, like back in the day, I told you the songstress would come on, Ethel Merman or whatever. Miller, oh God, I can't think of it. Ann Miller would do, and they just kind of stand there, and everyone would dance around them. And he goes, "Yeah, but that's what they do in The Masked Singer." I was like, "You're wearing a chandelier on your head in a fucking gerbil suit. Of course, you're not with the Rockettes, you idiot."
You're not the kick line.
But that's what they do. You're right, because you're dehydrated, you're overheating, you can barely see out of your mouth.
You're the Philly fanatic.
Yes, and everyone is doing pirouettes around you. Of course, you're not going to join them.
I'm just saying that's what they do.
Okay, that's what they do. All right.
Dawson, you have a guess?
Is it Rob Riggle?
No. So you were on to something and then you jumped off. Here's a clip of the reveal.
Oh, can I get? Oh,
No.
No. Okay.
Rob Schneider.
I was wrong about that.
Oh, with the Spanish voice. Yeah, but he wasn't dancing with everyone else.
That's right.
He did an Elvis song. Wow.
He did a very Elvis impression in all of the songs. People liked that a lot, and he sang a whole song in Spanish for
He
his
was
wife.
Tiny Elvis.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that was Nick Cage, but I think he was one of his entourage. You're the man, Tiny.
Oh, right.
Tiny Elvis.
Well, good for him.
That's fun. Conor McGregor really going on a hitting streak for no reason. This happened a few days ago, but we haven't gotten to it. TMZ reports that he punched this famous Italian DJ, Francesco Facchinetti, totally unprovoked after inviting him to a party. And we have the picture. The DJ says he and his wife were hanging out with Conor. Everything was great at his home in Rome. And at 2:30 in the morning, Conor just threw this punch, lands him right in the face. Facchinetti, who posted the video of the aftermath, says we're all having fun. Conor invited up to go to another party. But they didn't leave because that's when he says he threw this punch in front of 10 witnesses. Facchinetti was quick to say he's suing Conor because he is a violent and dangerous person. So we have the throwing the dolly through the bus. We have him randomly dumping popcorn on Machine Gun Kelly, just random.
He
random
whacked
guy.
an older guy at the pub
the bar that he bought.
for not drinking his
His
liquor.
booze.
Yes.
Right.
And didn't he buy the bar and ban that guy from coming in?
Still not as bad as Roberta Messick's. Roberta.
Reaching back.
Oh,
to,
right.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know she had a last name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she got you good. Mm-hmm. So
I
he's
know
on
what
a
it's like.
real killing
I should have
streak.
lawyered up.
And I think
Think what you could have now.
Oh, my God. To be living large.
I don't think anyone like MMA, I don't think anyone's weighing in on this.
Nah,
I think they wanna stay
I heard
out of
about it
this.
on TMZ, but I haven't heard anyone rush to his defense.
No.
I think he gets really drunk.
Yes.
Conor does. And when some guys, there's kind of a muscle memory thing. So when you train in boxing, it's all you do is the same motion over and over and over. It's like literally just hit the bag, hit the speed bag, hit the punch mitts, spar, shadow box. It's just that motion. That's all you do for 7 hours a day. And then sometimes when people get really drunk, they revert into their sort of physical motion that they do all the time.
Sure.
I guess if you sung for a living and got really wasted, you'd probably start singing at a party. Sure. Or, the chicks that are kind of shaking their ass when they get drunk, the ass really starts to shake.
Coochie, yeah.
I think he probably has a little... probably should be in the concussion protocol. You know what I mean? Probably has a little of that PT.
SD. No, CTE.
CTE. Probably has a little.
Carlian's.
You're talking about Rob Schneider?
Yeah. Conor probably has a little CTE. Probably gets blacked out. He probably gets blacked out, wasted. And then his body, once you're in the blackout, you're in muscle memory
Right.
mode, and I
Right.
think that's what he does.
And he doesn't seem like someone who would avail himself to maybe a recovery program.
No, or counseling or whatever. But now he may be
Forced to.
into something.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in, I don't know, the French Riviera and it's 3 a.m, you're going to another party or something. You're blasted.
Right.
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 All
And
right.
he was in a great mood until he wasn't. Mm-hmm. Well, I promised you some hot Munsters talk, so
Yeah.
let's get into it. It is getting a reboot thanks to Rob Zombie. Zombie took to Instagram to officially confirm Jeff Daniel Phillips playing Herman Munster, Sherry Moon Zombie playing Lily Munster, and Dan Roebuck being Grandpa Munster. The reboot is being shot in Hungary, and though it doesn't have an official release date, it will be released in theaters and on Peacock streaming. We have a picture of it.
Well, there's
just
a
so you
movie.
can-
There's a
yeah, it's a
feature film,
movie.
huh?
And it's being shot in Hungary at some old creepy house. And you didn't know you need it, but here it is. The original aired on CBS from 64 to 66. Not a long run.
No.
If this is funny, I'm down to see it. I don't want like a Rob Zombie, twisted
Horror.
twisted take on the Munsters. Like Munsters were, supposed to be silly, right?
Right.
Tongue in cheek.
Yeah, like the Addams Family.
How's Rob Zombie at making films, Brian?
Haven't seen a single one.
Oh, really?
Well, there's your answer.
I think he has
That's not
a
his
couple that
genre,
are
though.
decently reviewed, but that's not my genre, man. I don't see a lot of horror films, but I think there are a couple. You guys can look on Rotten Tomatoes. I think he has a couple that are decently reviewed.
What was his younger brother's name?
Oh yeah,
Ross Zombie.
something 3,000, something 5,000, something
2,000, 3,000.
some thousand, some iteration
Zombie
of
3,000.
No, it wasn't Zombie. It was
Something
something
ball.
else.
Spider One.
No.
Well, he's
That's
the
his
lead
brother.
singer of Power Man 5000.
That's it.
Power
That's it.
Man 5,000.
Spider One is his name that he goes by, but the band is Power Man 5000.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I knew some thousand.
Yes.
Chris, glance at Rotten Tomatoes. I think Rob Zombie has a couple of decent movies. Possibly even good ones. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Robin
I
is-
hear his Halloween reboot was really good.
Rob and his brother, they used to come on separately on the Love Line, and they would talk Power Man 5,000 and Rob Zombie, and I have no idea what does the brother like this Power Man tour? Do they play? Well, anyway.
I knew a couple of Rob Zombie songs I like, but generally, again, not my genre.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. You want one more?
One more.
Well, let's give credit where credit is due to A.J. Brown of the Tennessee Titans. He had a good game Monday night against the Buffalo Bills. 7 catches for 91 yards. That number even more impressive when you consider that Brown had food poisoning, lost 8 pounds in 24 hours because of diarrhea.
Oh, no.
And when asked where it happened,
Chipotle.
that's right. He says, Chipotle, I'm sorry. Chipotle won't be getting an endorsement with them anytime soon.
Ass juice.
His teammate, Derrick Henry, said that during the game, they just want to make sure that he had enough toilet paper. 24 hours, 8 pounds. Maybe I should go on the Chipotle diet.
Well, I was watching the interview after the game. It was a great game. And if you were like the CFO for Chipotle and you're holding a pencil, like you would have broken it, because it was one of those things where the interviewer was like, oh, and I heard you had food poisoning, but yet you made the game and you played lights out. I was like, yeah, I did. And at some point, they could have
Could've gone
moved
either way.
on,
Right,
and he was
yeah.
like, thanks, Chipotle. And it was like, if you're a Chipotle
Don't say
fan,
it, don't say it, don't say it.
don't say it.
Stock is in the toilet.
But he said it. Yeah.
All right, I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
No, you get hit in my house, it stays in my house.
Gina.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Power Man 5000 still tours. Rob's younger brother. Jay Cutler's going to join us in a second. First, I'll tell you about Stamps.com. Sell online. Yeah, then if you do, then you know about the shipping. It can be a pain. Which carrier am I going to get the best rate on? Will it get there on time? Stamps.com. Take the hassle and guesswork out of shipping and e-commerce orders. Easily compare shipping rates and delivery dates. Stamps.com. Negotiated discounted rates from U.S. Postal Service, UPS, DHL, and more. Up to 40% off U.S. Postal Service and up to 66% off UPS rates. I've used it here for the entire time we've been in business. I mean, it's been well over 11 years. We ship merch, we ship books, we ship paperwork. We all do it with Stamps.com. And Stamps.com automatically connects you to your online or connects to your online store. All you have to do is hit print. The labels come flying out. Put it on the package. Bob's your uncle. And no traffic, no lines. It's Stamps.com, right, Dawson?
Start shipping and saving with Stamps.com today. There's no risk. And with promo code Adam, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital shipping scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. You'll be up and running in minutes. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Adam. That's Stamps.com, promo code Adam. Stamps.com. Easy e-commerce shipping for less, a lot less.
They buy cars and they test cars. That's all they do. And I've said to him, in this day and age of every car works, everything's got a warranty, everything is safe. Well, was there even a bad car these days? And he went, just one, just the smart car. That's the only bad
Other
car.
than that, they'll work.
Yeah,
They're all good. Just
They're all
the one
same.
that's smart.